here with Arizona Cardinals tight end Trey McBride. Trey, what are you up to at Radio Row here?
Yeah, just out here, man, visiting a lot of different places, supporting Brandon Bills out here today, and just excited to be here, for the Super Bowl. It's been a lot of fun.
Now, you, of course, during the season had this absurd record of the most catches of all time before getting a touchdown. Everyone outside of Arizona was obviously obsessed by that, right? Every week, like, how is Trey McBride not getting in the end zone? What was it like in the building? Were you guys talking about this? Was it weighing on your mind? You're like, come on,
no,
let's
that's
get in.
funny, man. It was one of those things where it was like an absurd stat. Like, how have I caught this many balls and not scored a touchdown? It was funny. All my teammates were like, man, I didn't even realize. I thought you'd scored 5 times already by now. But, it was one of those things where it was just, for whatever reason, we didn't get in. But I'm just excited that we finally got in at the end. And hopefully, people stop talking about it. And next year we'll have a ton of touchdowns.
Because there were all these plays where you were so close. You're like, I'm opening the end zone. And suddenly he's going somewhere else. Or he scrambles. What was it like this year? You had this, like, in college your numbers were insane. You were the offense there. You were the number one guy. Obviously in the NFL you get that little transition period. There's other players to get the targets. This year it was kind of back to you were such a huge part of that offense.
Yeah, man, it's so much fun. Drew Petzing, our offensive coordinator, has such a fun offense for me, for tight ends. He loves the tight end position. There's 12 personnel, 13 personnel, so we're always out on the field, and I think that's so much fun. And the offense is really revolved around a tight end a little bit, so you need a good tight end for that offense to be successful, and I'm glad that I was able to fill that role, and that'd be a huge part of our offense.
What would you say are, like, the biggest attributes now for a modern tight end? Like, what is the position in today's NFL?
There's different types of tight ends, so it's hard to put them all in one box, but you have to be able to do both pass game and run game, in my opinion. I think if you help in the run game, you help with the blocks a little bit, it's gonna open you up and lead to that open pass game as well. So you got to be able to do both and be very successful in both.
Kyler Murray, obviously such a unique athlete, incredible athlete, incredibly fast, dynamic. Does the offense have to do anything different for him because of his short stature relative to, those sort of 6'5" pocket quarterbacks?
Not so much. He's actually been able to do and compete at a very high level, despite the fact that he is a little shorter. But he does everything the right way, man. He's such a good athlete. He makes so many plays all over the field. So I love playing with that guy, man. He's such a joy and great leader for our offense. I love playing with him.
How much time do you guys spend sort of dedicated to scramble drill type stuff, right? When Kyler breaks the pocket, where do we go? What do we do? How do we break it down?
That's funny. We do spend a lot of time on that because it's so common with him. He's so elusive. He's so good with his legs that we have to be ready for that. So it's not like we're just running around blindly, trying to get open. There is a skill to that. There is a thing that we're trying to accomplish when he does roll out of the pocket and get open that way.
When you're watching film, who are some of the tight ends in the NFL that you most sort of relate to or that you think are really great players?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that stick out in my mind. Obviously a guy in my same division, George Kittle, I love watching him play, man. He is still competing at a very high level, and Travis, obviously, everyone loves watching Travis. Mark Andrews. I like TJ Hawkinson a lot, man. There's so many really good tight ends, and I'm glad to, kind of be in the conversation with some of those guys.
And now, today's NFL with, tight ends being these dynamic, athletic receiving weapons, what is the defensive player that you most dislike going up against? What does it look like? Is it a safety that can run? Is it like a number one corner that they decide to put on you, or is it like a big linebacker that's going to get physical?
Usually if it's a linebacker, I love that stuff, man. I
that's
know
like happy days.
Yeah. Safety, I'm usually pretty happy about that. But it's when they put that lockdown corner on you and you're like, man, I don't know if I'm going to have to get around this guy. They're usually a little faster than me. The linebackers and safeties, I can usually compete or maybe a little faster than them, but those corners, man, they're fast. So even if you win, they're going to catch up to you and things like that. So if I see a corner, it's usually a little more challenging than everybody else.
And if you're going up against those corners, are you looking to just box those guys out? I'm longer than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm winning at the catch point.
Yeah, a little bit of that. And a lot of it is also just timing, making sure you and the quarterback are on the same page, because you could be open for a few seconds, but like I said, those guys are fast and they're going to catch up and you're not going to be open for very long. So making sure you and the quarterback have great timing, but yeah, try to box those guys out and put them in.
Here we go. Again. You're small again. So this whole thing's a conspiracy to make me look tiny.